Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a clip of someone complaining that there aren't any plus-sized purses. I personally didn't know it was possible for a purse to not fit someone, and I had no idea that plus-sized purses even exist, if they do. We're also going to be taking a look at several bonus clips, including one where someone says one of the strongest indicators that you will gain weight in the future is trying to lose weight, and another one where someone attempts to explain why some gym bros are into plus-sized women, so be sure to stick around until the end. Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache. The caption reads, bags larger than 4 by 6 by 1.5 inches, including bags associated with laptops, tablets, cameras, and binoculars, are prohibited. Single compartment bags, wallets, clutches, fanny packs, and clear bags smaller than 4 by 6 by 1.5, with or without a handle or strap, are permitted. And then this person is responding to this policy by saying, so where are we getting clear bags this small that can fit plus-sized bodies? So we're demanding plus-sized clear purses, those little clear purses that you have to take to various events these days. Okay, so as you can see, the demand for plus-sized things has extended to purses. Some concerts and different events require you to have a clear bag when you go to them for various safety reasons. I guess to show that you don't have a weapon or something like that in there. This person is mad that there aren't any plus-sized clear purses. I, for one, didn't know that purses came in plus-sized. I don't know how a purse could not fit somebody. It's just a strap that goes around your body or your neck. Next. Here's another clip from this same person.
Oh no, I made a TikTok over a year ago about being fat, and the doctors of TikTok and fat-phobic people are still in my comments.
Okay, they said there are a bunch of fat-phobic people in their comments because of a video that they made a year ago. I actually covered that video probably about a year ago. We're gonna reminisce on that now. This person is responding to this comment that reads, explain how being fat is healthy.
I would love to explain this to you, but not just because you told me to, but because everyone else should understand how the terms obese and obesity came into the picture. And
okay, I am going to explain this, but not because you asked me to. Okay.
And how unnecessary it is. Something that a very quick Google search can do is give you a lot of articles explaining this instead of asking a fat creator to explain it on TikTok.
Right, and as I explained in my other video, a quick Google search will also teach you many ways in which obesity is not actually healthy. I went and looked through this other person's videos because they said they've been getting guff about this particular video for the past year. I haven't seen any comments except on this particular video.
I chose a random article, like I didn't even fully read through it, but the very first line is...
Is it from fluffykittenparty.com? Or was it .org? Whatever sounds more legitimate.
Despite having a bad reputation in the wellness world, body fat is important for your health too. And it is, so let me tell you why. The very start of this says that in 2005, a scientist at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention published findings regarding the...
A scientist. Don't want to reference them by name or anything like that.
Terms like overweight, obesity, going over the BMI, and just everything along those lines. Something that this article touches on a lot is the BMI. That's your body mass index. That is just a measurement of body fat based on your height and weight. So that does not account for any sort of muscle or anything else that's in your body. It's just...
Somehow the BMI measurement only measures body fat and not the weight of your muscle. What?
Your body fat. So it was not supposed to be used like that, and not...
It only measures your body fat somehow. How is that possible? So when we step on the scale and look at the number, and then we compare it to our height, somehow the number that we see on the scale is only measuring our body fat, not our muscle. What?
Applied to individuals as it is today. It also states regarding the BMI that in 1998, the National Institutes of Health moved the overweight and obesity cutoff points down. So that included 25 million more Americans to be considered obese or overweight. So that's already a scam.
It's not a scam because they changed their guidelines of what they consider obese.
So to move into exactly how fat can be healthy and being fat can be better for some people, the first thing that it tells you in this article is that it stores energy and insulates the body in cold weather. This body fat also includes...
It does insulate us in the cold weather, but unfortunately it also insulates us in the hot weather and makes us start sweating like crazy when we're just sitting there. At least that was my experience. That was the worst thing. You can only take off so many layers of clothes to try to cool off. At least when you're cold, you can put sweaters and stuff on.
Includes fat-soluble vitamins. So it lists vitamin A, E, D...
Hold on, our adipose tissue is holding vitamins? I forgot about this part. I haven't seen this thing in a minute. Hold on.
This body fat also includes fat-soluble vitamins. So it lists vitamin A, E, D, and K, which is part of why fatty foods like avocados and nuts are now considered healthy.
So you're saying because avocados are healthy, and that's a type of fat, our body fat is also healthy. Even though countless medical professionals have classified obesity as a medical condition that is worthy of treating. This is one of the most bizarre rants I've seen. Either way, let's look at all the fat phobia that this person has experienced in the comment section since uploading this video. There are 201 comments on this video that is from September 7th, 2023. Wingle Wongle says, so if a very heavy person fails, they are less likely to get injured? That makes sense. I think they meant to say falls. And that does not make sense because gravity is real and things that weigh more hit the ground harder. We might have more cushion, but we're more likely to stumble and fall if we're obese, and we're also going to hit the ground harder because of gravity. If an ant fell off of a 10-story building, it would probably float down safely to the ground. If you or I fell off of a 10-story building, that would not be the case. This person says, body fat is important, but too much can seriously damage your health. Not only that, but the food that normally makes fat is very unhealthy. This person says, I feel like the only positive part of having body fat is that it keeps you warm. I'm not gonna lie, I am freezing all the time, and I feel crazy for saying I'm freezing when nobody else is. Okay, I'd rather be cold all the time because I can just put a sweater on than to be too hot. Back when I was living in a larger body, I was always sweating like crazy. This person says, just because some amount of body fat is healthy, that doesn't mean being overweight is healthy. Anything in excess is unhealthy, especially things like body fat. There is obviously a level of body fat that is healthy, but going over that is not. Okay, so I'm still not finding the fat phobia in these comments that this person says they've been receiving for the past year. This person says more time under tension and hypertrophy combined with healthy foods equals more muscle. Okay, just giving us some random muscle building tips. All right, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Danielle says, holy, and there's an emoji going like this. I think it's the facepalm emoji. Cam says, having fat isn't unhealthy, but an excess of fat is. An excess of almost anything is harmful to your long-term health. The effect on your health, like heart disease or joint issues, are much more fatal. This person says, obesity equals unhealthy. Obesity will never not be unhealthy. This person says, having fat is healthy for your body, but an excess of it is bad. Having too much of anything is bad for your body, especially in the long term. And also, it's proven that obesity can up the risks for diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and joint issues. Okay, so I'm still looking for the fat phobia in these comments. BMI measures mass, which includes your bones and organs too. It would be BFI if it measured body fat, and the articles that talk about fat being healthy mean the healthy amounts of fat, not that being obese is healthy. If a woman has 20 to 30% fat, then that's healthy. A lot of the body needs it, but not if it's more than 40 to 70%. That is not healthy to anyone. Okay, I don't know where you're getting your figures from. This person says your body needs fat to protect your organs. Excess body fat impedes your organs to function properly and causes your body to work harder than it needs to. This person quotes you and says, I didn't read the article. I can tell a healthy amount of fat is good. Too much will end you and make you sick. Okay, so that's the fat phobia that this person has been receiving since they made that video. I went and looked at other videos on their page, and I didn't see any comments about this video or anything like that. They're all literally confined to the comments of this particular video. When you make a bunch of wild claims and then people disagree with you, you refer to it as fat phobia? Because that's what I saw in those comments. A bunch of people being like, no, actually that's incorrect. Next, the caption reads, the concept of being told, comma, to go on a diet to lose weight, comma, while knowing one of the strongest indicators of future weight gain is dieting. What? I think they meant to say, while knowing one of the strongest indicators of future weight gain is dieting. They're saying that if you try to lose weight, you'll gain weight. Yeah, it doesn't compute to me either. Kind of like the placement of these commas. We didn't proofread this at all before we uploaded it, okay? Either way, I guess it doesn't really matter. I see what they were trying to say. They were trying to say that one of the biggest indicators for future weight gain is trying to lose weight, boing. As we've heard from many people in the past, which is really crazy. So how do we lose weight then? Try to gain weight? Since we live in bizarro world? Okay, but many people have actually tried to lose weight and succeeded. So what do we say to those people? And people that don't try to lose weight or take care of their health at all obviously don't have any results. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. If you try, you at least have a shot. So I should just give up and never try to better myself at all because I might fail? That's right. Gee, how much do I owe you? Next.
Type of men that love fat women are like gym bros. I don't know why this is.
I remember that classic video.
Someone who's been in the fitness industry for a little over 10 years now, let me tell you why this is a thing. Speaking for myself, when I first got into bodybuilding, competing and whatnot, I only liked gym girls. If they weren't doing that, then I wasn't attracted to them whatsoever. And I always assumed that everybody would have a fit swole me. As time went on and I met more and more hardcore bodybuilders, especially pros, Olympians, people who take this very seriously, some of their wives' girlfriends were very out of shape. They were much bigger women. It's not like I randomly asked them, why are they dating someone who's not fit? They typically tell me on their own. They're like, I really am attracted to very curvy women or bigger women. A very common one is that they want to focus on bodybuilding. They want to have a wife or whatever girlfriend at home that cooks, cleans, does whatever for them. And they have two different personalities, two different interests. Now, one thing that definitely happens is when you take the tremboloni sandwiches, it definitely alters what you're attracted to. I like petite, fit chicks, and when I got on Tren, I like really big girls. And the second I hopped out Tren...
This is not the first time that I've heard this. A lot of dudes who are in the bodybuilding world are taking Tren, which is a form of gear, and that alters their brain chemistry to such an extent that they are into women living in a larger body. I've literally heard this talked about before by Derek from More Plates, More Dates. He used to often read these bizarre trend stories where people talk about all the crazy stuff that they did while they were on trend. I don't know why. I don't know why that very specific thing is happening to multiple people, but it literally is.
I was no longer attracted to big girls. Some of these guys are running Tren.
When he stopped using Tren, he was no longer attracted to big girls.
4, 5, 6 months out of the year, so they're probably attracted to something, that they're not normally attracted to because they're on the tremboloni sandwiches. But just keep in mind, not everything in the world is about looks. Sometimes the guys just want a really supportive, caring wife. No matter what she looks like, no matter what her weight is, she's just a great person.
That's true. But the trend thing specifically is very fascinating.
Maybe he just wants some extra curves and wants her to be double cheeked up. We don't know. You got to ask him and see.
Okay, so like I said, I've heard of this phenomenon before, and it's very interesting. It's actually a very well-known phenomenon in the bodybuilding community. A lot of people have gone on many bizarre actual escapades while they were on Tren or various other types of gear because of how it affects your hormones. Not just that, apparently it affects your brain or something. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought that these dangerous performance-enhancing drugs would alter the way that you think? What? You end up getting with somebody that you're not even with, forming a long-term relationship for multiple years until you finally get off of Tren, and then you're like, what am I doing with my life? That is absolutely bizarre. And it does explain why so many gym bros are into plus-sized women, and a lot of them might be confused later on when this thing doesn't pan out. They were really into me a moment ago. Now all of a sudden you won't return any of my calls. What the hell is going on? The trend wore off. Damn it. Where can we get you some more of that? I'm sorry. You just make sure that your boyfriend or husband or whatever has a constant supply of Tren. You're like, this relationship is not going anywhere. Let me go ahead and call the pharmacist. Oh my goodness. Next.
I think this is something that people in smaller bodies don't really have to worry about. I'm super nervous today because I have to put in an order for my office chair. I work for a nonprofit, so money's like the department I work for, money's not, so strapped that we can't do anything. But of course, money's a factor. And so I feel guilty spending a large amount of money on something as simple as a chair.
Let me stop you right there. Don't ever feel guilt about anything, ever. It's a worthless emotion. Let's move on.
When, there are things that money could more easily go toward. So I keep asking
What do you care? It's weird that you're this concerned about your employer.
them what the budget is, and they just keep saying, like, it's okay, just get what you need. There's no budget, just get what you need. And I'm like, I don't know if you guys understand that standard size chairs are, $300 for a super fancy one.
$300 for a chair? Oh my gosh.
But I'm looking at a floor, a baseline model for $350 because of my weight and the need to have a capacity to hold my weight.
Okay, well, the difference between $300 and $350 is not that crazy. So if they would spend the $300 on a chair, I'm sure it's not a huge deal to spend $350.
So if I'm going to get anything, like, I prefer a mesh back over a leather back because the office is really warm, and I prefer padded arm handles instead of, regular plastic ones that feel like they're gonna break. Like, I'm looking somewhere between $500 to $700, and I'm thinking,
Okay, now these chairs are getting pricey. Oh my gosh. But if that's how much it costs to get the features that you need to be comfortable, I would say just get it.
there has to be a budget. You just haven't told me what it is.
No, there's no budget. You want that gold chair? Go ahead, order that. You call them on their bluff is what you do. You order the most expensive thing that you can find.
I'm trying to pep talk myself and be like, hey, asking for what you need for your safety and your comfort at work is not greedy.
No, and also, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Don't ever be afraid to ask for what you want or need in life. The worst anybody can say to you is no.
It's not wasteful, any of that, but this is really nerve-wracking, and
I want to know what's in that $700 chair that makes it $700. I thought it was a little wild that a standard chair was $300. You said a plus-size chair is $350, but there are $700 chairs. That is twice the price of the $350 chair. Good job, Cynical. Double! That's double, baby! Frickin' chair made of gold? What is this? This chair came from an archaeological dig? It's a historical artifact? I don't understand.
I'm scared to send the order form to my boss because, first of all, that is kind of revealing my weight. It has to be this one because otherwise it won't hold me.
I think plenty of people are just order whatever chair you need, dude. If it costs more or whatever because of X, Y, or Z reason, whatever. If I were the boss, I would not care. I would not shame you for it. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't look into this, how much can this chair hold or anything like that. So I think you might be freaking out a little bit when it's unnecessary.
And also, that's a lot of money. And everybody else in the office seems to be, most of them are fairly smaller sized. And so they probably didn't have to spend that much money on their office chairs. And I'm just I don't want to do this. So.
Okay, yeah, I can see how this would be embarrassing, but just get whatever size you need.
Words of encouragement to myself today. Asking for what you need is not greedy, and your body does not have to accommodate a chair. A chair needs to accommodate your body, and they wouldn't tell you there's no budget if there was a budget.
You mean they wouldn't tell you there's a budget if there was no budget? I think she meant to say.
They wouldn't tell you there's no budget if there's a budget.
They told you there was a budget and that you can buy this chair. So I think we got that backwards, but that's okay.
There was a budget. They tell you the budget. Get the chair you need.
Okay, and in that final clip, this person was self-conscious about buying a bigger chair. I don't think you need to feel guilty about that or anything like that. I would just get the chair that I need. When we start requiring a special chair, that means that we likely require special accommodations and various other facets of life. All of these various things can add up to being quite a headache. A lot of people have found that it's just easier to address the common denominator among all of these things, which is us. So we had a lot of interesting clips in today's video, but what do you think? Do we need more plus-size purses? I didn't know such a thing even existed. Is the strongest indicator for future weight gain actually dieting? And is the gym bros being into plus-size women phenomenon largely due to trend? Leave a comment below. Happy Thursday, everybody. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly.